Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of life's greatest mysteries. The silent, subtle language women use to signal profound interest, the kind of interest that goes straight to the heart of desire. For centuries, men have wandered around bewildered, missing the flashing neon signs because they were looking for a verbal confirmation. But here's the truth, straight from the clinic. Women control nearly 90% of the courtship dance, and they transmit their deepest wishes through a delicate, often unconscious ballet of body language. Pay attention, because if you miss these little cues, you might be walking away from the opportunity of a lifetime. The silent invitation. Decoding the initial look as an expert. I've seen countless men fumble the first move simply because they failed to read the eyes. But the eyes, my friends, are the absolute beginning of the conversation. When a woman is interested, her gaze doesn't just rest on you. It performs an intricate dance. She starts with the quick sidelong glance, a subtle survey of the room, often not actually looking for anyone in particular, until her eyes dart toward you. If she catches your eye and holds it for a brief, intentional moment before looking away or down, consider that your first green light. This momentary pause signals she is interested, even if she feels shy about it. Now for the true physiological giveaway, the pupil dilation. When a person experiences excitement or positive emotion, the kind sparked by deep attraction, their pupils can expand up to 4 times their normal size. This is an involuntary reaction, completely outside her conscious control. It's a key sign used during courtship, and it's why those candlelit, dimly lit romantic dates are so successful. The low light causes everyone's pupils to dilate, making both of you appear more interested and attractive to the other. If you notice her eyes seem unusually wide and deep, she's hooked. Beyond the eyes, women use movements of the head and hair to draw attention, initiating what we call grooming for the male gaze. Watch for the quick head toss or hair flip, especially when she clears her hair away from her face or shoulder. This isn't just a habit. It's an unconscious mechanism to draw your attention to her appearance. Even women with short hair perform a shortened version of this gesture, a signal that she is taking care of herself for you. And here is where things get truly primal, the exposed neck. The neck and nape are incredibly sensitive areas. A woman might slightly tilt her head to the side, exposing her vulnerability and signaling a desire for closer familiarity. This is an implicit invitation for you to come closer. If she takes it a step further and begins subtly touching or massaging the back of her neck or nape, she is actively directing your attention to this erogenous zone. Unconsciously, this action often causes her chest to lift slightly as her arm is raised, enhancing her appearance and broadcasting her physical desire even more clearly. The erotic signals of the body's shield in social settings. We all maintain an invisible bubble of personal space. When we feel threatened or unsure, we raise physical barriers, known as defensive shields. These often manifest as crossed arms, crossed legs, or holding an object, like a purse or a glass, in front of the body. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, she will begin to dismantle these shields. If she starts the conversation with her arms or legs crossed, watch for the shift. She will uncross them, a subconscious act of removing the barrier between you. If you're having drinks, she might unconsciously move her glass or cup out of the space between you, inviting you into her territory. This is a visual manifestation of her willingness to open up, both emotionally and physically. The direction of her body is another key indicator. When genuinely interested, she will rotate her body and, crucially, her feet towards you. The feet, being the body part we are least conscious of, are often the most honest. Her feet will point in the direction she truly wants to go. And if that direction is you or the nearest exit if she's bored, you'll know immediately. She will also likely lean her upper body toward you as you speak, showing keen interest and an unconscious desire to shorten the distance between you. If she leans forward, make sure you don't recoil or back up. She is inviting you to bridge that gap. This breaking down of barriers also extends to physical contact and proximity. If she allows you to stand or sit unusually close, she is letting you enter her personal space, a clear sign of interest. Furthermore, initiating light physical contact, a quick touch on your arm or shoulder during conversation, is a classic method women use to flirt, testing the waters for deeper connection. Grooming, fidgeting, and the language of intimate anxiety attraction is often accompanied by an internal nervous excitement. This emotional surge manifests externally through specific, often repetitive movements. These gestures are known as fidgeting or manipulation gestures, and they draw attention to highly sensitive erogenous areas of her body. Observe her lips. If she licks her lips, bites them lightly, or touches them with her fingers while talking, she is unconsciously drawing your focus to her mouth. This subtle behavior signifies a desire for oral intimacy and enhances her lips, making them look fuller, a biological signal of sexual excitement. The use of lipstick, a beauty tool dating back 4,000 years, emphasizes this effect by encouraging blood flow and drawing the eye. A woman might also fidget by mussing with objects that hold a suggestive shape. Playing with the stem of a wine glass, twirling a cigarette, or fiddling with a pen are subtle acts that, in a state of high desire, can subconsciously signal her thoughts. Similarly, playing with her jewelry, such as rings, earrings, or a necklace, is a sign of internal preoccupation. When you see this controlled, manicured restlessness, she is signaling her desire in a way words cannot. Another important area is the wrist and forearm. When a woman is attracted, she may subtly expose the soft inner skin of her wrist, often twisting her hand or holding a drink with a loose wrist. The wrist is considered a highly sensual area. By revealing it, she is making herself vulnerable and inviting attention. Perfumes are strategically applied here to draw the attention of the man she is interested in, blending scent with this subtle visual cue. Finally, watch for self-grooming and clothing adjustment. If she smooths down her skirt, adjusts her dress, or brushes off imaginary lint from her outfit as you approach, she is unconsciously trying to optimize her appearance for your immediate assessment. This adjustment, particularly of a tight or revealing garment, often highlights the attractive waist-to-hip ratio, which studies show is a major draw for men. Beyond flirting, the overt signs of immediate desire, while the preceding gestures signal attraction, women also use clearer indicators when they are experiencing high, immediate desire. Because women often feel a psychological need to avoid being judged or seen as overly aggressive when expressing sexual needs, these signals are usually framed in a subtle social context. One of the most obvious signs is the demand for privacy. If she starts actively steering the situation toward private, isolated time, this is a major green light. This could manifest as suggesting late-night dates, wanting to see a movie until late, or proposing an evening at a romantic spot known for its seclusion. A step further is the invitation to her private domain. In the early stages of dating, women are often cautious about inviting men to their homes alone, partly due to fear of judgment and partly to prevent the man from escalating physical intimacy too quickly. But when she suddenly extends an invitation, perhaps claiming she is bored and alone or needs help with a task that requires her to be home by herself, she is actively seeking a private and intimate environment. As one expert humorously puts it, to catch the tiger, you must enter the tiger's den. This situation presents a clear opportunity for deeper connection. Another highly suggestive signal is the initiation of explicit conversation. A woman who suddenly begins discussing sexual topics, such as asking about your past lovers, your kissing preferences, or even specific sexual positions, is clearly testing the boundaries and expressing her desire. For couples, this might involve her asking playful, provocative questions about clothing, such as, "Do you like me in this red dress?" Especially when preparing for bed. These conversational gambits are designed to set the mood and hint at a passionate encounter she is hoping for. In addition to verbal cues, physical restlessness and overt displays of sexuality are telling. Restlessness in bed. If she is tossing and turning, unable to sleep, and turns to snuggle up or talk intimately instead of resting, this signals a strong desire for closeness and intimacy. Provocative dress. Choosing clothing that is particularly revealing, sensual, or designed to show off her body is a deliberate signal to her partner that she is ready for intimacy. It is vital that a partner responds sensitively to these signals, as ignoring or rejecting them can lead to deep disappointment and relational frustration. It is worth noting that for women, these desires often peak during the mid-menstrual cycle when hormone levels are at their highest, making attention to this timing particularly insightful. The psychology of communication. Why men miss the signs. Why is it that men often miss these clear signals, sometimes requiring them to be repeated 3, 4, or even 5 times? The core reason lies in fundamental differences in male and female communication and sensory processing. Studies have shown that women possess a higher degree of intuition and sensitivity to nonverbal cues. When testing the ability to read nonverbal cues, women accurately understood the situation 87% of the time, compared to only 42% for men. This is attributed to the complex structure of the female brain, which includes more processing areas for nonverbal signals and is organized for multitasking. Women are inherently better at recognizing emotional states and subtle body movements. Men, conversely, tend to focus more on literal language and broad, dominant physical movements. Because a woman's flirting is often subtle, a twitch of the corner of the mouth, a momentary flicker of the eye, it can easily be overlooked by men who are generally attuned to more overt communication. This difference is why men frequently misinterpret female friendliness, such as smiling or helpful conversation, as a sign of sexual interest, leading to awkward social situations. In essence, women are masters of subtle communication, controlling the intricate dance of courtship through delicate, almost imperceptible moves. They rely on their partner's intuition, often unconsciously expecting him to recognize and mirror these delicate emotional and physical expressions. When a man fails to respond, it is often simply because he lacks the natural, sophisticated equipment women possess for decoding body language. This means the burden often falls on men to actively train themselves to become better observers of nonverbal language. By consciously tuning into the small gestures discussed here, the direction of the feet, the momentary eye contact, the accidental exposure of the neck, a man can bridge the communication gap and engage more successfully in the relationship. Final thoughts, understanding. These subtle cues is more than just a technique for attraction. It's an act of deep empathy and attentiveness that strengthens a relationship. When your partner feels heard, understood, and desired, not just through your words, but through your sensitive response to her hidden language, it fosters genuine connection. A woman's desire is a delicate flame, often lit by the smallest, most personal gestures. When you become adept at reading her unspoken wishes, whether it's the sudden need for privacy, the restless turning in bed, or the provocative question about a red dress, you confirm that you are truly paying attention. By anticipating and responding to her needs, you assure her that you are a partner who values her physical and emotional satisfaction, guaranteeing not only profound intimacy, but a stronger, more complete relationship.